Good afternoon. I'm Spot On Weather meteorologist Matthew Euler, and we're going to take a look at the long range forecast. So let's go ahead and start it off with this Thursday, the 19th of January. What we're looking for is basically we have a 1022 millibar high that's situated over West Virginia, and this is going to allow us to remain dry on Thursday. Temperatures will still remain fairly mild. We do have a little bit of rain off to the southwest from southeast Texas up into Arkansas into southern Illinois, and that will be our next weather maker, and you'll see that here in a moment. Some more action in the west, off the western United States there. More energy is diving down into a trough, which is located there off California. So another storm system moves into the west, and this repetitive pattern continues for the winter of 2016-17. All right, looking at the jet stream level here at 30,000 feet. Again, we have a very strong jet maximum or higher wind velocity within the main jet core that is going to be spilling into the backside of this trough off of California and the west coast in general. We do have a little bit of ridging. The main jet axis then ridges up north, well up into south central Canada. We do have an upper level low that is going to be spinning beneath that upper level ridge. So we have an area of lower pressure, unsettled weather, a little bit of an increase in the jet stream, some tropical jet stream energy to the southeast of this upper level low. For Southeast Virginia, with high pressure at the surface, a fairly weak high to 1022 millibars will result in dry conditions on the ground. We do have more of a westerly wind flow aloft at 30,000 feet above our location. Now moving on to Friday, you'll notice that this area of rain is going to move more. This high pressure is going to shift offshore. This rain is going to start moving in from the southwest. By Friday, the 20th of January, you'll see the area of low pressure here, a surface low over southern Indiana at 1,002 millibars, and a lot of rain that extends basically from the northern Gulf of Mexico, Florida Panhandle, Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina into Kentucky. All right, this eventually is going to move in. This is 7 a.m. on Friday morning. So later in the day on Friday, this will move into Southeast Virginia. As far as the jet stream pattern, where the jet stream is located, we have some strong jet stream energy again pointed right towards, basically right towards Southern California at this time from the Eastern Pacific. So you have some more troughing, long wave trough located over the desert southwest. We do have, again, the main jet axis then goes up from the trough into a ridge type pattern where it's going to be fairly mild across most of the eastern United States. There's just an absence of cold air. If you go east of the Rockies, pretty much all this next week, there's just no cold air coming down from Canada. So therefore you get milder temperatures. Our winds at 30,000 feet at the jet stream level, generally from the west-southwest on Friday. Again, mild. Saturday the 21st of January, we have an area of low pressure, all that rain. We're expecting that rain to move through Friday night and then offshore by Saturday morning. So an area of low pressure is offshore. We will dry out over Southeast Virginia at this time. There's an area of rain down over the Gulf Coast states, Louisiana, southern Mississippi, southern Alabama, into the Florida Panhandle on Saturday. There's a lot of action still going on out west with another area of low pressure over Utah at this time with snows into the Rockies. Scattered rain showers along the California coastline. All right, and the jet stream has become less amplified into Southern California at this time. There's more of a trough, but it's not as deep at this point, and the winds become more west-southwest over Southeast Virginia at this time. So again, a very mild weather pattern for the area going into the weekend. Moving on to Sunday now, the 22nd of January, there is some rain starting to move back towards Southeast Virginia. So we will have a little bit of a dry after Friday night and early Saturday morning rain. We will dry out for Saturday as well as for majority of the day on Sunday. That's the way it looks right now before this rain starts moving back into the area. The jet stream shows basically a west-southwest wind flow continuing, but you will notice how this trough axis now is shifted from the west coast further into the central Rocky states at this time. But you still have a very strong trough, very deep trough of low pressure sitting in the same location that it's been sitting most of this winter to this point, right off the west coast of the United States yet again. And a little bit of high pressure ridging over the top over New England. So conditions stay fairly mild east basically east of the Rockies again all the way through Sunday the 22nd. We just don't see any cold air outbreaks. Monday 23 January, you get an area of a stronger cold front starts developing from a fairly strong 986, a fairly strong storm system over the Midwestern United States. So you get this huge swath of rain that extends outward from that area of lower pressure all the way into the East Coast. So this could be a pretty good rain soaker by Monday the 23rd of January, basically 1 week from today. But we do have a cold front that will move through. It's not going to be the very strong cold front we're expecting yet to change the pattern of colder, but it is going to push through. And then you see the strong upper level low. You just see these white lines here, these lines of equal height, geopotential height lines, how they're circling this low, this upper level low. And so it's going to result in very unsettled weather from the Midwest all the way to the East Coast by Monday the 23rd. There's a trough of low pressure. Here's your long wave pattern, your jet stream, a trough and colder conditions over into the western United States. That's why you see more of the blues, more of the snows, as conditions remain cool and unsettled there. Right now, Tuesday the 24th of January, you'll see that main area of rain has now started pivoting offshore by Tuesday the 24th. We still got a weakening or a filling area of low pressure, a weakening storm system over northern Indiana. So we have a lot of rain, but it's pushing offshore by this point in time. Another storm system now moving into Southern California. So Southern California, you just keep getting socked with rain. We do have a long wave trough in the upper levels at the jet stream level, 30,000 feet, that's backing up this storm system at the surface. And then you got a very active, you notice this jet stream, very active, a lot of higher wind speeds, 120 to 140 knot winds, all the way from southeastern Arizona across Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, into the southeast states. So this is where storms can develop, typically along these kind of very high speed type jet stream areas. So we'll have to keep an eye on things in the long range. Now I want to talk about the transition to a colder pattern, and we're expecting the transition to occur mainly after the 27th of January. So between now and the 27th of January, today's the 16th, for the next 10 days, 10 to 11 days, it looks fairly mild for Southeast Virginia. We just don't have any cold air outbreaks, no changes in the jet stream orientation from Canada down into the United States, more of a milder Pacific type air mass that goes from coast to coast. So what we got going on the 27th, however, is we got a nice, stronger cold front that starts basically moving through our area by Friday morning the 27th. And these blue lines indicate much lower thickness values, and that basically correlates with much colder temperatures. So, and like I said, though, that's all the way out on the 27th of January. So again, we're in for a mild stretch here with above average temperatures across Southeast Virginia, all the way through the 27th. After the 27th, it gets interesting, and then Monday the 30th of January, now we have colder air all the way from the Rockies east to the East Coast. You have these reinforcing areas of higher pressure that are coming down from Canada now. They're coming from Canada, and they're going to continually reinforce the cold air that's in place. You know, we're looking at temperatures this day, for example, on the 30th, in the upper 30s to lower 40s for highs. So we do have much colder air coming in after the 27th, and that's going to last a little bit. All right, and then for the Madden-Julian oscillation forecast. So the Madden-Julian oscillation is one of those teleconnections that we talk about. Usually when it goes, this solid aqua line and the green line here are forecast. And it's heading mainly towards phase 1. Phase 8, then phase 1, if you notice. Okay, this is the forecast from today, the 16th of January, to the 30th. And whenever the Madden-Julian oscillation, they've discovered over the years that if it goes towards phase 8, or this sector, phase 1, it generally leads to colder temperatures in the eastern United States. So if I were to zoom in on this, I'll show you this is January, February, March time frame. And if you look at phases 8 and phase 1, the bluer shadings indicate colder than normal temperatures across the eastern United States. And you'll notice phase 2 is blue almost all the way across the entire United States. So we're going to go basically from a phase 7, where it's mild across the east, represented by these orange colors, to more of a phase 8 and a phase 1, which is a colder eastern United States. And there's been studies and research done by past folks in the meteorological field that have looked at these correlations of the Madden-Julian oscillation. and the circulation in the Pacific Oceans. All right, so our long-range final thoughts, we're expecting mild temperatures to continue. It's been a really chilly weekend across Southeast Virginia. The 14th, 15th, and today the 16th of January have been really chilly. We've actually had below normal temperatures. The average high for this date is 49 to 50 degrees, and we've only been in the lower 40s for the most part the last 3 days with a very low, dull gray overcast. Now, we do expect tomorrow a warm front is going to move through, tomorrow morning the 17th of January, and that's going to start getting rid of some of this cooler, damp air that's in place right now. So we expect milder temperatures beginning tomorrow the 17th and lasting through the 26th. We expect highs mainly in the 50s and lows in the 30s and 40s. Now, we've gone a little bit cooler than my last video on Friday. And that's mainly due to the fact that the jet stream in the southeast ridge is not quite as amplified from the southwest. But it would not shock me to see occasional high temperatures into the lower to middle 60s over this period, the 17th to the 26th of January. A transition to a much colder pattern after 27 January as a trough develops over the eastern United States. All right, so we get more of a wind flow from the upper levels of the atmosphere from Canada towards our location. We will have occasional rainy periods with the milder temperatures this upcoming 10 days, the 20th, 22nd, and the 23rd of January. That 20th is the Friday, the first rain that I showed you, and we're looking at that mainly later evening and then overnight Friday night and Saturday morning. 22nd and the 23rd, we bring that other main system through. Wintry precip may develop again across southeastern Virginia between 27 January and 2 February, as a very active jet stream allows for the development of southern-type storm tracks. And I'm going to go back to this jet stream. This is what I'm talking about right here. Okay. Now, in order to get a nice winter storm, we need more of a deeper trough like we had last weekend with that winter storm that really hit hard here in southeast Virginia. And we have the trough axis still back here in the west. All right. So, but this is a very energetic pattern, so we can get surface lows. If we get the cold air to come down, starting the 27th, and the last few days into the first week of February, we might get wintry precip. Now, the Madden-Julian oscillation, as I said, is trending more active towards phases 8 and then 1, which generally leads to below normal temperatures for southeastern Virginia. But, you know, a lot is dependent on some things, so stay tuned to Spot On Weather, and much can change between now and then. And then stay tuned to Spot On Weather for the latest updates. Look me up Facebook, Matthew P. Euler, Spot On Weather, and Twitter, and look up Spot On Weather YouTube channel. Become a subscriber today. All right, that wraps up this long-range forecast. I wish everybody a great Monday evening, and we'll be keeping track of things and updating as necessary. Have a great Monday evening, everyone.